Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about what team I will be using in the online Dynasty. So that's going to be the Troy Trojans, and in this video we're going to be looking at their uniforms, their stadium, how they fared last year, how I think I'm going to fare this year, kind of going back over their schedule, looking at the schedule for this year, what players they lost, what players I think are going to do well this year. They were back-to-back Sun Belt champions, but don't let that fool you. Lindy's has us as the 94 overall best team in college football for this upcoming season. And I think it will be a challenging rebuild. So let's get started with who the coach is going to be. It is going to be none other than Patches O'Houlihan. You know, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, which means you should probably be able to dodge a defender. This team lost most of their offensive production from the past two seasons. They lost their quarterback, Gunnar Watson, and their running back, Kamani Vidal. I feel like that will make this rebuild a lot tougher than some people will think. So let's look at who I think is going to take over for Gunnar Watson at quarterback. The person that I'm tasking to lead this offense is going to be Goose Crowder. Not only is his name awesome, but he has experience at a Power 5 school. So he is a junior from Gardendale, Alabama. His height is 6'2", and he is 210 pounds. The previous school that he was at was West Virginia. So during his redshirt freshman season at West Virginia, he was a perfect 6 for 6 passing for 57 yards and a touchdown in his lone appearance of the season, which was against Towson. He also rushed once for 4 yards. In his sophomore season was when he came to us, and he appeared in all 14 games, but he was only a holder on special teams. He did make 5 appearances at quarterback, completed 5 of 6 passes for 49 yards, and rushed 3 times. So he's not very experienced, but I feel like he must have learned a lot at his Power 5 school, West Virginia, and then backing up Gunnar Watson last season. Has probably given him a good shot at being able to lead this offense. Earlier in this video, I told you that we lost Kamani Vidal. I feel like the running back room will be okay. It's going to be more of a running back by committee type of running attack. And depending on how Goose will do in his first couple games, will kind of define our offensive scheme. I'm looking to hopefully be able to run the ball down people's throats, but if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to learn the passing meter, the new one that's going to be in the game. So that should be interesting and will probably be a learning curve until probably about 5 games into the season. So hopefully I'm not 0-5 and I'm able to win a couple of those. Our leading tackler from last year left for Indiana, Jaden McDonald, but we do have a incoming linebacker, Derek Burns, who is the number 40 junior college prospect out of Kilgore Junior College. I think that he should be able to fit in very well. He's experienced. So we shouldn't have too much of a problem on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah. Next, we're going to look at how the Trojans fared in 2023. Their record was 11-3 overall and 7-1 in their conference, as well as winning their conference championship. They were 6-1 at home and 5-1 away, and 0-1 at a neutral site. So they beat Stephen F. Austin 48-30 at home. They lost to Kansas State 42-13. But that's expected. James Madison, who were one of the better teams in the conference, they lost by 2 points. Western Kentucky, they won 27-24. They beat Georgia State 28-7. They beat Arkansas State 37-3. They beat Army at Army 19-0. They beat Texas State 31-13, and they won their rivalry game against South Alabama 28-10. University of Louisiana Monroe, they beat them 45-14. They beat Louisiana 31-24, and they beat Southern Miss 35-17. And then in the Sun Belt Championship game, they faced off against App State, where they won 49-23. In the Birmingham Bowl, they lost to Duke 17-10. So my main goal for this season is to get bowl eligible again and hopefully beat one of the Power 5 teams that we play this season, because they were unsuccessful last year. But let's look at the teams that they play for 2024. I'm going to try and keep this schedule relatively realistic, so I'm not going to change much. I'll probably just change the FCS opponent. My buddy is also in the online Dynasty with me, so I will probably play him, who he's controlling South Carolina, and I think they're going to come to us, to Veterans Memorial Stadium. So this year we'll play Nevada at home, Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. They're a group of 5 team, but they are on the better end of that spectrum. So that will be a tough one. Iowa at Kinnick Stadium. I'm very excited to play this game in the new upcoming game, just to see the wave to the Children's Hospital at the end of the quarter, and just to be able to play a Big Ten school will be pretty awesome. So the game that I was talking about, switching from the schedule, was the Florida A&M game. That will most likely become South Carolina at home. And then UL Monroe, Texas State will be a big one. They're projected to be pretty high in our conference. South Alabama is always going to be a grudge match, just because it's our biggest rival. Arkansas State, and then our homecoming will be against Coastal Carolina. So unfortunately, in the first season, we won't be able to see the teal field, but we should be able to in the next season. And then Georgia Southern away and Louisiana away. That'll be a hard one, just because Cajun Field's always rocking in Lafayette. Southern Miss at home, and then what we're aiming for is the Sun Belt Championship game. Hopefully we make that, and hopefully we will be able to play that at our house. Where Lindy's Sports thinks we're going to end up at the end of the season, they think we are going to be 3rd in the West, behind Louisiana and Texas State. So the real expectation that I have, let's go back over the schedule. I feel like we'll have a good chance against Nevada. Memphis will probably be an L, but you never know, depending on how fast I can grasp the new throwing mechanic and everything like that. We may be able to pull out a W. Iowa most likely will be an L. South Carolina, that's going to be against my buddy. So hopefully I can pull that one out. But again, it's against a Power 5 conference team, so it's most likely going to be an L. Louisiana Monroe, we should not have that hard of a time against. Texas State is going to be one of the teams that Lindy's has us behind in our division of the conference. So that one will be a hard one to win. But I feel like again, depending on how well our newcomers acclimate, we may be able to pull out a win. And then South Alabama is always going to be a hard one. But I feel like it's not that hard of a schedule, so we should be able to at least make a bowl game, I would hope, in my first year, and then build that from there. And then now we are going to look at the set of uniforms that we have to look forward to for the Troy Trojans. Here's some of the sets that they wore last year. I really like the black jerseys, and the black and white is just so crispy. They also have the silver, which is nice. I'm planning on using the black jerseys with white helmets and white pants. I don't know why that one wasn't used last season, because they have, as you can see, the black helmets, white jerseys, black pants. And they have a couple of different red jerseys. They have kind of the standard Troy and then the script Troy. I kind of like the script Troy a little better. And then the all white is pretty nice. So that's kind of, I think, what we can expect to see with the uniforms for Troy. And then here is Veterans Memorial Stadium. So it looks like they've renovated it pretty recently, I think. I'm pretty sure this end zone area is pretty new. It looks like on the higher end of some of the Group of 5 conference teams. I feel like we'll be able to bring in some recruits with the uniforms, the stadium, the atmosphere. I'm hoping to get some of those players that don't work out at Alabama, don't work out at Auburn, maybe entice them down to Troy and make them big-time ballers. So yeah, guys, that's what the online Dynasty is going to look like. It should be fun. We have about 17 people in our online Dynasty so far. And we have about 2 weeks left until the game comes out. I hope everybody's excited. I'm very excited for the Dynasty Deep Dive tomorrow. I will be showing that live on my YouTube. So we'll see it together, and we'll go over everything afterwards. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I'm interested in seeing who y'all are going to use for your dynasties, online dynasties, road to glories, everything like that. So have a good one.